The other day I was scrolling through Facebook hoping to find a reprieve from crushing anxiety when I came upon this ad. Ooh, Earth 2. Wow, Ready Player One? Someone's claimed the Taj Mahal? Wow, I can buy Manhattan and fly my own flag? People are already doing that? Sounds so sketchy and scammy. What on earth is this? And now imagine my shock when I see a deluge of other YouTubers covering this. Seems like there was something to my mistrust. So, let's take a look today at an all-new scam for gamers, Earth 2. I know that by the time this comes out, everyone else will have made a video, but I think it's worth something warning about, and I wanted to make a video about it. Alright, quick explanation on what it is, just in case you haven't heard about it yet. From their website, Earth 2 is a futuristic concept for a second Earth, a metaverse, between virtual and physical reality, in which real-world geolocations on a sanctioned map correspond to user-generated digital virtual environments. These environments can be owned, bought, sold, and in the near future, deeply customized. It says it's a 1:1 scale version of Earth and that this is just the beginning. That doesn't mean much. So what exactly is it? Pretty much Google Maps. That's it. It is literally a Mapbox map, Google Maps, of the entire planet with a bunch of little squares on it. You pay them money to own the little squares, and then you hope that someday they'll actually make a game or you'll sell the little squares to someone else. They say eventually they'll have a fully immersive 3D world that you can do anything in, like Ready Player One. Look, anything that fancy is years away, and why would I want to run around in a virtual planet GTA style when the real world is already there and giving me depression? I am a big fan of MMOs and do understand the allure of a virtual world where you can do anything and be anything, but they're a few steps away from that. Going from a map of the planet where you can click little squares and give them money to a full 3D world where you can build and do anything, but will probably end up just standing around pretending you're rich in the real world is a bit of a jump. So don't hold your breath. However, that seems like they just kind of stapled that on to sound legit and bring in unsuspecting people. The real scam lies in their business model. The real dirty secret is that they just repackaged a crypto scam. Let's take a look. The first thing you see is the little scrolling bar on the homepage showing values or something. I watched it for a while to see if it ever changed, but the numbers always stayed the same, so it doesn't seem to be anything real. I may be wrong, but it just seems like something flashy to get your attention. Plus, if you look lower down, they talk about how they're looking at ways you can rent the properties to make money, but for now you can have other people use a coupon code to get you money. I have no idea why they say, the properties you own can be thought of as websites that are already accessible via web page for now. Websites? What on earth? I mean, what on earth too? So, why is this essentially a crypto scam? If we zoom in on the map, we can see that there are a bunch of tiles. Some have been bought by people, pretty much just the large cities. If you go to the middle of nowhere, you can buy as many tiles as you want. They say there are over 5.1 trillion tiles available on the map to buy. You initially buy them from the devs, and then you can buy them from other people once they've been bought for the first time. This reminds me of another scam, SafeMoon. Please watch my video on SafeMoon if you haven't so this makes more sense. In a crypto like SafeMoon, they create a certain amount of coins or tokens, 1 quadrillion for SafeMoon, and we can say 5 trillion for Earth 2. Think the tiles are just like coins, but a visual version. Instead of buying or trading for them from the devs on Coinbase or Binance, you buy and trade them on the Earth 2 website. So it's like the devs own both the crypto and own the marketplace. What makes this a scam? Think of all the new cryptos that pop up from nowhere, blow up, and then crash. They don't have any value. The devs print a bunch of virtual monopoly money, trick people into buying it, and then pretty much usually disappear. Earth 2 is the exact same thing. They have a bunch of squares on a map that they made, and that's it. The squares have no real value, but the devs have seduced people into buying them. Recently, prices have blown up, not because they have any value, but because people are desperate to be rich and so think that this is a good investment. What makes everything worse is their incredibly sketchy terms of service. If you weren't convinced already, take a look at this. First, they charge for fees on top of any transaction that occurs. So, like a scam that skims off the top of transactions, they take money long after they've made the money originally. You might think, of course they should charge a fee to keep their stuff running. Maybe, because the world map must have insane upkeep. And it gets worse. They say they reserve the right to change any of their terms of service at any time, and that it probably will change. That's probably not too much of a big deal by itself, but then they say if you do anything to violate their terms of service, they get to take away your land you paid for. If you forfeit the land, it returns to the devs, who don't have to pay you back for it and can sell it all again. So the devs are incentivized to kick people off the platform. Plus, they even admit that the land has no real value and that the prices can fluctuate, not only due to supply and demand, but from things they decide. They could decide that all of a sudden the little squares are really expensive, or maybe that they have no value anymore. Even worse, they actually say that they won't have to make sure anything on the website is accurate. They won't even try to keep things updated and accurate. Yeah, real upstanding company, not a scam at all. Take a look at this. In order to withdraw your money, they want your full name, country, email, ID, home address, phone number, bank account, credit card info. That sounds just like the Nigerian scammers who ask for your bank info so they can definitely transfer money to your account. Plus, there are a lot of people claiming that they can't even withdraw their money. People are saying that their money is stuck in the game and that they can't even get it out. Sounds like a company that's trying to make it hard for you to escape once you find out that the game's not real. There's so much in the terms and conditions, it's crazy. I couldn't even find it linked on their website. You have to just find it. But I'll finish with this. If you weren't convinced that this was some sort of sketchy crypto scam, look at what they have to say. First, you don't own anything and they can do whatever they want, and that they're allowed to take the little squares you paid money for and are trying to sell to some other schmuck and trade it for cryptocurrency that they make and decide how much it's worth. Another YouTuber, Callum Upton, goes into detail about this, but it's pretty much BitConnect 2.0. You pay real money for these little tiles, and then they can decide eventually to take back the little tiles you bought and instead trade you some fake coins they also made and can decide how many to give you. But they promise it's going to be a reasonable valuation, so that's fine, right? This is their endgame. Right now, people can at least try to sell land to others. If they take that away, your money disappears forever. Well, it disappears even further than it did before. So, they want to take your money and give you a worthless coin. So, if they don't want you to leave before this happens, they would probably make it hard to get out your money. And guess what? They do. How on earth does creating a cryptocurrency and taking all the fake land you paid for help create a virtual Ready Player One world? Oh yeah, that's right. It doesn't. What's even sadder is that there are people that legitimately think this is still a good idea. From the ad, I saw people hyped for this. People talking about Neuralink and how cool it would be to pair with it. Neuralink is something I would love to do a video on because people have no idea what it actually is. But people mention Sword Art Online, how cool Neuralink would be, etc. Every so often a person comments that this is a scam, but the vast majority of people still think this is a real thing that's going to happen. I think part of it is the popularity of these pre-release games like Star Citizen that promise this huge world, and so other people think that other games can do the same. Plus, there is strong fear of missing out. You missed out on Bitcoin, Dogecoin for the 14th time, AMC, and everything else, and so this might be your chance to make a bunch of money. It is pretty smart. They're preying on people who are desperate to believe in something cool. The last nail in the coffin is that you bought land on this little virtual Earth, but what stops me from making my own version? What if I made Earth 3? So, your land is worthless. You can already buy parts of the moon, but it doesn't matter because you can't legally own any part of the moon. I was actually going to make a joke how I should create a version where you buy a piece of Mars, but I'm actually too late. Someone already did it. Guess I'll have to move on to something else like asteroids or Venus or something. I guess watch out for that. There's way more to cover, but I won't. Other people have already done a pretty good job on this already, so it doesn't make too much sense for me to just retread their ground. It just takes a little critical thinking to realize that things don't make sense. The technology doesn't exist yet to make a magical 1-1 scale Earth that you can probably just end up being a virtual accountant in. Promising a super product should always ring alarm bells. Having an insanely sketchy terms of service should be the next red flag. I know no one ever reads them, but this is why you should. Finally, planning to make a cryptocurrency that has no value should always be what steers you away. This is sketchy on every level. So, if you know anyone that's fallen into this scam, or maybe you were thinking about yourself, maybe you should wait. Just wait for AMC to blow up again and I guess waste your money there. Thanks for watching. I know this is a way late, but it's just little old me making videos, so I'm a bit slow. I probably didn't add anything new to the conversation, but I think it's important to cover. I like using logic to make decisions and uncover scams, so this is right up my alley. In any case, if you ended up seeing this video and watched it, thanks so much.